Hey everyone, welcome to Small Talk Sundays, where I just use some small talk on Sundays and upload the video at a very inopportune time on Monday. So, I want to keep this as short as possible because I've already recorded like a 30-minute multi-year version of this. But in summary, what I'm wanting to say, before I do that, let me back up and say, yes, I realize the intro came out way better than I was pretty unhyping it up to be, because it was in a much different state at the time. It was like really, like the jokes were really just stupid. And then I consulted my friend who helped me with a bunch of it, and even made the card at the end for me to use, and came up with the joke themselves. So yeah, thank you very much for all their help. Thank you. But yes, it did come out way better than I thought it was gonna be. But anywho, the topic that I want to get to here for this Small Talk Sunday is that essentially it comes down to I'm wanting to play other games to be able to explore things. So I did a really long mopey speech in the other recording, but basically what I'm wanting to say is that I essentially have had a bit of almost another existential crisis. It's not an existential crisis, but I took a look at where I was now in this current moment in time and where I want to be, and I'm realizing that the path I'm going isn't really super aligning too well with it. Essentially what I want to be, like, for the longest time is a game developer. But to my greatest chagrin, is that I have developed almost none of the skills that I need in order to reach the goal I want to reach. And which is, being a game developer. And, yeah, I'm just kind of realizing a little bit that I'm not really gaining any skills doing this. And this is kind of a me thing. Right now people know me as, like, the Final Fantasy XIV, as the WoW nerd who went to Final Fantasy XIV. I am me. I'm not much of a WoW person or Blizzard fan anymore, and ultimately I do want to explore and start playing other games as well to see what's all out there, so I get a better idea what things are possible via the game engine. And I would especially like to play the games that are made with as small of a team as possible, even down to just one person. And I'm curious as to what they've made, because that's kind of the path I want to take as well, to be able to create the games, but not just from a gameplay purpose. The reason I want to make games is to be able to convey a story the most optimally way it can be conveyed. And I want the story itself to also be a meaningful story. And I see video games as a great medium in order to tell such stories. And I think games that do have a bit of a meta-narrative incorporated into it, such as Nier or even Undertale of the like, even a small little RPG game called One Shot, stuff like that. I really like the way how those are incorporated, where it feels like everything is diegetic, one of those words. Basically where everything is like in the world. Everything's in the world. There's no actual like external like interface or anything. Like it's all in the world. So stuff like that I've always been like fascinated with, and it's been something I've been wanting to like go down for such a long time in life. I've never made any real progress towards any of the skills required to go that route. The only thing I've got is an associate's degree in music, which doesn't even mean anything if you don't have the creative juices or the intuition. Is that the word? Is that the word I'm looking for? Innovation, I guess. I something along those lines where I'm able to just keep on going at it and be able to produce something new and unique each time. That is hard to do, because I'm noticing I get tapped out rather quickly with these intros alone, because they're literally taking me like half a week just to even think about what I want to put in it. So basically what I'm trying to say is I'm thinking on maybe picking up some other games. Now what I'm saying, that does not mean I'm going to be straying away from Final Fantasy XIV, because I'll probably still be uploading the same amount I would be otherwise, as if I wasn't playing other games in general. It's not a Final Fantasy XIV thing. It's just me wanting to explore out there, because Final Fantasy XIV is a AAA game. Like there's no way I'm going to create something similar to Final Fantasy XIV on my own. Same goes with WoW. I'm wanting to explore a bunch of this stuff, which admittedly that does mean I would be like going along indie video games, which usually, I don't know, I don't think those usually get too much exposure, and I feel like in terms of YouTube viewage, that might hurt my channel more than help it if we're talking about that regard. But I want to develop these skills and be a lot more exposed to what's out there, so I can actually figure out like what's possible. So I was thinking on maybe trying to pick up some other series on top of this MSQ thing, because this MSQ thing I feel like I'm just stressing out too much, because these MSQ videos, they're taking as long if not longer than what my first Final Fantasy XIV video took, because I was just taking a wild stab at it when I did the Final Fantasy XIV first impression thing, because I did not expect to get any views whatsoever. Like the max was like 5,000 views is what I thought I'd get, and that blew up. So I guess right now I just keep getting paralyzed by the amount of just the size of the audience, essentially. Because now I know there's a lot of people out there, so I guess that I just keep overthinking things more, since now I seem to have a bit of a wider audience. And I guess that's been my issue. I just keep getting stage fright. That's what it is, stage fright. So I guess it's just what comes with that. But I don't get that when I'm recording. I get that when I'm at the editing scene, because my mentality is like, this is my last line of defense to make something good. So I've been kind of like dealing with that. But yeah. I've been starting to get a little bit of interest trying to pick back up Unity, which is a video game engine that's known to be very, very versatile. However, I'm an absolute noob at it. And I did purchase some Udemy courses like last year to cover those, but again, to my greatest chagrin, I have not even checked them out or even looked through or gone through a single one of them. They're just kind of collecting dust. And I feel like the software is going to end up getting too far ahead to where those courses would end up just being a waste of money, because it would be all outdated. So I'm wanting to do some self-advancement is what I want, essentially trying to say. And yeah, I was wondering if it would be all right if I was able to like incorporate some other games into there. And some games I would particularly like to play are like the RPG Maker type, for like, yes, it's that simple. Because I really like the pixelated feel. It's just, I want to know what people are able to make like on their own or with limited tools or whatnot. And I want to see like experience like a certain story. Now, granted, most of my experience in exposure to the RPG Maker field is that it's just the horror field, because I actually consume like a lot of just horror content on YouTube, even though I apparently can't play a horror game myself, as is evident by my welcome to the game video. But I was just thinking on dabbling into that. But yes, that is one of the main things I wanted to say. And another thing is I was thinking on maybe cutting down these Small Talk Sundays, because it is getting to the point where the last few Small Talk Sundays have just really ate into my schedule. And it's mostly due to my fault when I record these things. Like when I recorded the rant earlier, it was like 8 p.m. On Sunday. Now when I'm recording this take, it's 12:57 right now. I'm looking. So this is a small talk on Monday, actually, now I think about it. So whoops. But yeah, these Small Talk Sundays, I was thinking of maybe cutting them down to maybe being once a month or something. But I'm not sure if it's gonna be at the start of the month or the end of the month. But these Small Talk Sundays have been kind of cutting into my flow of things and overall recovery rate, because I'm kind of throwing out like the Sunday weekend to be just another work day. So the only break I tend to have is just Saturday, if I upload the video on Saturday, then I probably have spent the good chunk of the day working on that. So yeah, I was thinking of maybe cutting Small Talk Sunday a little loose. And as for the Q&A stuff, like that stuff in particular, very much like I knew I wasn't going to be able to keep that up as soon as I pressed the publish button for the first Q&A I did. Because I was up till 11 o'clock in the morning before going to bed, only to have like 2 to 3 hours of sleep to try to check if the thing was going to upload or not. I kept checking up on it, and then it was like a botched upload or something. I forgot the whole process of events that happened there, but it was not fun. So yeah, all of this stuff, I don't know. I'm starting to think that maybe a Small Talk Sunday could maybe hit the chopping block. And I don't like saying that, because Small Talk Sunday is just when I get to interact with you folks, the people who are here to just, who think I'm intriguing in some form, which I am flattered and honored. Thank you very much for stopping by and giving me the time of day. It's just, man, I just want to improve. I want to get a bigger skill set. I want to be better. I want to be more advanced. I want to reach for my ambitions as hard as I can. And I feel like with my current path, it's not doing so hot. So I think I'm going to try to invest more time into learning some stuff on Unity if I can. But I am an absolute moron when it comes to that right now. So it's going to be a long, long, arduous journey for me if going that route. But it's what I want to be, ultimately. To be able to, convey stories and such like that. I just have a lot of skill sets to brush up, and just a lot of patience. A lot of patience required. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been wanting. That's for the Final Fantasy XIV side of things, though. I'm still going to play the game to the end, because from what I've heard for the story, it seems to be, super spot on. I want to know the storytelling methods, and I'll probably, look through my own catalog and see how it was, portrayed I want to see how this goes. I will be playing this to the end. And even during the next expansion, I will keep doing the same thing there. I'm not abandoning Final Fantasy XIV because I'm like, tired of it or anything. No, I'm not. It's just these edits, and I'm just like, I got a bunch of things that I want to do because the time is ticking. Time is ticking, and I want to reach my goals in life. That's what I want, ultimately. So I just letting it be known that these Small Talk Sundays are probably not going to be a thing. And as for Q&A, I'll probably do a community post to announce if I'm going to do a Q&A or not. But as of right now, I think I won't be doing any more Q&As until otherwise specified, or a community post. But yeah, I think that's just about all I wanted to cover. This is pretty much all I said within the last take I took, which took like 30 minutes long because I was way more depressed sounding. So yeah, with that said, I'm going to end off on the one question that I found was asking the Small Talk Sunday, because I feel like it would be a little rude of me to just up and change it when people are requesting for a whole Q&A thing. But just for the sake of this very brief tradition, the one and only question I got for the last Small Talk Sunday that I found is by Andre Petita, one of you, and they ask for the Q&A, if you're still doing them, which I'm not after this. Do you have any favorite movies, or if this is too inconvenient to answer, which of the Final Fantasy movies have you seen, and what did you think of them? Advent Children, Spirits Within. I haven't seen Spirits Within, but I have seen Advent Children a long time ago, so my memory's hazy of it. But I remember when I was watching it, I didn't consider it canon. I just watched it as if it was like a fan animation. I thought, hey, this is cool, a little action and stuff. Hey, I'm having fun. It was a good watch. I just didn't watch it like as if it was super serious. I just watched it as like, a fan animation. That's how I essentially took it. As for like any favorite movies, I don't know what movies I would consider my favorite, because I don't watch a lot of movies. I do not. And even though I am a bit of a Star Wars nerd, my love of Star Wars comes from the video games, like Knights of the Old Republic and the original Star Wars Battlefront, Star Wars Jedi Knight Academy, or Jedi Outcast and whatnot. Those games, those are where my love of Star Wars is like blossomed. The movies was just kind of a side thing that I didn't really care too much for. Like, I do watch them because Star Wars fan, but it's not the reason why I like Star Wars. But in terms of movies in general, I'll probably have to say Lord of the Rings, but I don't know if that even counts. I remember really liking Lord of the Rings, even though that's been a really long time since I last saw them. I do recall really liking Lord of the Rings. As for which particular one, I couldn't tell you. I like them all. So yeah, that's probably going to have to be that answer. But anyways, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and end this Small Talk Sunday, because it's getting late and there's a lot of things I constantly need to be doing. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. And yeah, sorry to drop some weird news on you for this one. I will end up lingering if I don't end it here. So I might start brushing things up on in text reply. So I don't know when the next Small Talk Sunday is going to be. It could be as early as literally just next week, since it's the start of the month, or it could be just some random time. I don't know. But for now, it's going to be an undisclosed future for Small Talk Sundays. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and end it here, and we could probably discuss this more in the comments below. I'll probably do some replies and whatnot. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to freaking finally end this freaking video. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching and or listening for as long as you have throughout these Small Talk Sundays. And I appreciate you all very much. Thank you. Thank you again. And I hope you all have a wonderful life. Also, don't click links. With all that said and done, take care, folks. Have a good one.